The garage is a big frustration in my book, so I'm very excited for this.
Take a look at this. My garage is an absolute disaster. Between testing tons of electric bikes and having 3 kids, floor space is completely gone. Enter the Steadyrack ProFlex. I've been using Steadyracks for years, up until almost the beginning of Ebike Escape, and I have 10 of these that I can install. And these ones in particular are special because they can hold up to 121 pounds. They're fender compatible. They come in 3 different sizes, and even more, they're compatible with Steadyrack's GearMates. I am really excited to test these out. No more tripping on helmets, at least hopefully. Steadyrack did send these out for me to test out, but I just genuinely think they're the best solution for getting bikes off the ground, and especially electric bikes. And this is part 1 of hopefully a series, if you like it, of making my dream e-bike garage. Let me know what other ideas you have down in the comment section. I have some ideas of my own. We already started off with painting one wall. Let's get at least some of these installed. I'll test them out with varying e-bikes, some with fenders, some without, and we'll see how they fit. And by the end of this video, you'll know if Steadyrack's ProFlex can help solve your garage chaos, like hopefully it will solve mine. Let's get started. Let's get these unboxed. We are going to start with the wide for the crown jewel of my e-bike collection, the Aventon Current. So these come in 3 different sizes. Here is the spline. This is the magic behind the GearMates. These even look more premium now. This is the wall protector for the tire. And here are the fittings and the installation kit. Bunch of screws. I believe these are for masonry. Sticker. And thorough instructions. All right, we are getting closer to install. And funny story, I am constantly reminded how much of a mess my garage is because I get notifications every time someone bumps into any of the Aventon e-bikes we own. So hopefully this will solve that. Can't wait to get this installed. First, we have to open it up. And this right here is what makes them fender compatible. We have to remove the caps. Wow, a small thing, but so much easier to remove than the ones on their other fender racks that don't have as high of a weight capacity, mind you. So we'll put this here and we'll set the front tire of the Current in the rack. And what they recommend is about 3 inches here from the back tire to the wall for heavy e-bikes. On some of the other racks that I install, I might actually leave more than 3 inches because I'm going to be changing perhaps what e-bike goes on that rack. And every e-bike has a different wheelbase, so I wanted to accommodate a wide variety of them. Just know though, you want to dial it in for your e-bike so you can more easily roll up the front tire. And on my garage here, I'm going to mark this hole here, because this is what I'm going to measure to match up the wall, 75.5 inches. All right, making progress. Now we gotta level it and drill some more holes. Now we can install it for real with the spline first. Before the rack. Put on the caps. All right, the moment of truth. And the great thing is you just line up your front tire, roll it on. All right, almost done. Next step is to protect my beautifully newly painted wall. And what's nice, now they give you a plate, so I just need to install this. So pretty simple here. I'm going to move the tire here. We'll mark it. Take the bike down. Make sure we're all nice and level here. I'll mark these holes. And next, attach this. Let's see how we did. Look at that. And then check this out. You can move it all the way to the wall. Takes up even less space. That is a beautiful e-bike rack. But we have a lot more racks to install. Let's check out the GearMates. So I have our portable pump available at shop.ebikeescape.com. My sunglasses, my mountain bike shoes that are just as dirty as the bike, and my favorite mountain bike helmet. I don't actually know which of these will fit and which ones won't, so let's crack the GearMates open. So first, it looks like 3 different sizes of containers. Looks like 2 hooks, some Velcro straps, an even bigger hook, and even more brackets. Let's see what our options are. So first we need to decide which way the bike will pivot. I think that's obvious because the garage door is there, so we want it to pivot this way. So that means all of the accessories will go on the right side. And because this is the ProFlex, it makes installation a little bit easier rather than if you're using their classic range. So I guess we get to play with some hooks. That is actually very slick. You can kind of put them wherever you want. That's actually kind of handy. I'm actually really liking this, though there's so much versatility. Because I'm going to put so many steady racks next to each other, I think I actually might be able to squeeze an accessory on the left. For instance, I could do something like this. There you go. And even still, it allows you to move it a little bit. But this isn't just my garage, my organization. My wife also has to like it. So let's see what she thinks. Check it out. Come on, come on.
Okay. Oh. I didn't know this was a thing. How many of these do we have?
5.
They all come with that?
Yep, everything. You didn't even look at the other side.
What's in here? Treasure.
There we go.
Cool.
She approves. We have a lot more steady racks and GearMates to install. Let's do it.
I mean, the garage is a big frustration in my book, so I'm very excited for this.
All right, admittedly, it has been a few months, but I think that's a good thing because I have some lessons learned to share, but we have all 10 installed. Before we get into the other things that I think are going to be helpful to talk about, let me walk you through all the bikes that we have hanging because that just shows the versatility of the steady racks. The amount of different types of bikes they can handle is pretty impressive. So first, we have my electric mountain bike, the Event and Current. You saw that earlier. I'll talk about how we decide to set up the GearMates in a second. Here, I do need to be mindful that the handlebar will actually come in contact with the garage door, so I do need to move it more to the left. We have the new Event and Rambless ADV, very similar to the Current, as no fenders. And then we move on to the U-Free City Robin 3. Now, you will notice that I kind of mounted these higher in most circumstances. So the City Robin 3 is hanging off the ground, but that allows me to hang an e-bike with even longer of a wheelbase if I ever need to. Then we have the U-Free Solar Sparrow chain drive, the new Monarch bikes. This is the Tracer. We have the new Electric Express 2, and you can just see the huge difference. I actually measured the Express 2, so this is the correct height, and you can just see the amount of difference here. So the Express 2 has a shorter wheelbase for sure. You'll note the next one is blank, and that's because I put these two at the same height, not realizing that, of course, the fat tire mounts, the bike's going to hang lower, so this is one I need to raise up. But that doesn't mean I haven't found a use case for it in the short term. My son's bike, just lift it up, super lightweight, and it actually still comes in contact with the wheel guard on the wall. All right, moving on, we have the Monarch Marker. So perfect example of a fat tire e-bike. And yes, I'll show you putting on some of these bikes in a second. And this is a good example. If you want to go wider and still put a narrow tire on it, you can. This is my non-electric mountain bike, and it has been working just fine here. Just note that the wheel just tilts slightly, which is no big deal. And remember, Steadyrack sells their other racks that aren't ProFlex. Most of these have fenders, but this bike in particular could certainly use one of their older models. It's also quite a lot lighter. And then, yes, another fat tire e-bike. This is the juiced scrambler, full suspension, 4.5 inches wide, and still works on the rack. All right, so now I moved all the bikes towards the left so they're as close to the wall as they can be, and it just saves a ton of space. Let's talk about the GearMates. So this is the primary area that has really saved me a lot of frustration because I just know my mountain biking stuff is here. On the right side, I already showed you my stuff. I have my gloves here. But then on the left side, we decided to throw the event and current charger, so we just know all the time where it is. Because the port is located here, I can actually charge the bike while it's hanging, which is nice. And then my wife has her mountain bike gloves, her mountain bike shoes, and then if I move the Rambless out of the way, I've given her some more storage. Her helmet, one of the most affordable MIPS helmets on the market. Super cool. We'll throw a link in the description in case you're curious. And then my wife has additional storage for her glasses up here. That has been enough storage to kind of get rid of some of our frustrations, but we also ride non-mountain bikes a lot, so we have helmets for that. I have mine higher because I can still easily reach it, and then my wife has hers. It's just so nice to have a dedicated spot for the helmets. I imagine over the next year or so, we might add more of the GearMate cubbies for things we're looking for, perhaps bikes that we're riding regularly. I really like having the charger next to its e-bike. Let me give you some tips when you're loading your bike. So I have the solar spare here. What you want to be mindful of, and it depends on the e-bike, is how low does your fender go. These are nice paint match fenders and I don't want to scrape them up, so I can kind of roll this up in a way that I'm not going to scratch the fender. So it's something to be mindful of. Don't necessarily go completely vertical with the bike unless the fender sits higher. And then this being a slightly lighter weight e-bike, what I'm going to do, and what I think is very helpful, is just using your knee as a brace on the seat, and it's just super easy. With the Tracer, similar. This bike actually has the battery installed. I would recommend removing the batteries because it only makes it lighter weight. And so similar here though, super easy. This is almost perfectly mounted for this bike. There we go. You might want to see a fat tire e-bike. This thing is a beast even without the battery. But again, in this one, I don't have to really worry about the fender at all, but check this out, just roll it right up and push. I didn't even need to brace the seat with that one. All right, this next one, I actually mounted this a little bit higher. We'll pull it off. And there we go. This thing weighs between 80 and 90 pounds. This one, I'm gonna lift up a little bit more with my leg. And there we go. Another tip you might want to consider, perhaps your use case, you don't need 10 of them. I mean, most people wouldn't, but you could actually skip a stud and then that leaves a little extra room for GearMates, perhaps on both sides. I certainly would consider that. Though for ultimate space saving, it is nice to have them closer. Just be mindful that they're going to touch a little bit more. Since I did install 10 of these, I'll talk a little bit about installation. Now, clearly, I think I would have adjusted the heights a little bit more, but once you install one, it is so quick to kind of go down the line and install them for all of your bikes. Basically, measuring the wheelbase, adding a few inches, marking the holes on the wall, drilling 4 holes, and then just bolting them to the wall. And of course, they're super sturdy. I feel super confident putting all of our heavy e-bikes on the wall. And you saw how I take them on and off, but my wife has quite a bit of experience with these as well.
I thought it was gonna be tricky to take these on and off, but with a couple times practice, it's super easy. Just brace it with your knee, have your hand on the brake, and it's no problem.
If you want to check out the Steadyracks, we'll throw a link down in the description. Your purchase helps support the channel. I can't speak highly enough of these products. It has been a game changer for our garage. I love the new GearMates. I love the new design. Great product. Nice job, Steadyrack. Let me know what other transformation you would like to see to make the best e-bike garage. Thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you in the next one.